In this video, we are going to cover Chapter 15, Assembly Drawings. Alright, so at the start of the lecture, we're going to create a custom assembly exploded view, and then we'll move on to Chapter 15 material, which will guide us through the settings and preparations needed to create a drawing. So we've created parts in this class, assemblies in this class, and now we're moving on to the third entity of SOLIDWORKS, which is a drawing. Okay. Some other learning objectives would be to understand the basics of creating an assembly drawing, and we are going to create a parts list of a bill of materials. So the first exercise is going to be creating an exploded view of an assembly. Basically, we're going to create exploded view, then it collapses back, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do to create this exploded view is you're gonna open the assembly file in Canvas for this module. Okay. And it should look like this. All right. And then I am actually going to use these instructions, but I want you to be able to see my full screen. So if you miss a step or anything, you can refer to the PowerPoint. All right, so we are going to go to the Configuration Manager. We're going to expand this group over here, and we're going to double click on Explode View. All right. So you can see that this exploded view is already created for us, but we are actually going to learn how to create a new exploded view. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to collapse this. So just double click on exploded view again and it will collapse. All right, so we're going to create exploded view 2, which it will pop up exploded view 2 once we create it. All right, I'm going to put this control 7 to make sure it's in isometric view. And then I'm going to, let's see here, in the assembly tab, I'm going to click this down arrow, and here are all these different things we can do. I'm going to click exploded view, right? Then I'm going to open up my feature manager tree, and I'm going to select all of the alignment pins that we're going to do alignment pins first. So I have one random one there. Then I have this. I'm going to hold Shift to select all of these alignment pins there. All right. Let me see. Oh, it didn't get the first one, so I'm going to click in here and click that one again. All right. So we have all the alignment pins now. And we are going to move these approximately, I'm going to collapse this, in the Z direction approximately 80. So you can just grab the arrow and move them, and you can see approximately 80 right there. So 80.29. All right, you can actually go down here and change it to 80, whichever method you prefer. All right, and then we're going to hit Done. And so if we scroll up, we can see we have our exploded 1 step there. Now we're going to do explode step 2. You can actually rename these as well if you want, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. All right, so now I'm going to do all of the pin heads. So here's one here, and then click there, then here, hold Shift and click all of these. All right, I'm going to scroll up and collapse this, and then I'm going to move this in the Z direction about -80. Awesome. All right, it looks like I'm missing a pin head, so I'm going to click here and add that one to the list. All right, and I believe I have them all now. Yes. All right, and then I'm going to do Done. Okay, so now we have 2 exploded steps and we're going to create 3 and 4. So we're going to click the single link. I'm going to collapse this. You can actually just click on the part as well. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to move it in the X direction, approximately 50 millimeters. Okay, and then I'm going to click done, and then I'm going to move it in the Y direction, just up a little bit. So I'm going to click this and move it in the Y direction, about 15 it said. Okay, there we go, done. Then I'm going to go to the double link. I'm going to move it in the X direction, approximately 35 millimeters. All right, and then I'm going to take this single link and move it in the Y direction, approximately 100. Okay, done. Then I'm going to move this one approximately 100 in the Y direction. All right, and then done. And then I'm going to move it in the X direction just a little bit by like 22 or so. Okay, that's good enough. All right. And then actually I'm gonna move it over just a little bit because it's covering that pin there. But I want it to be above there. Okay. Well, that's fine. All right, done. And then let's see what step we're on. Yep, we're on step 9. If you want to edit one of these, you can actually click on, go on here, double click on it, and then you can actually modify it. But we don't need to modify it, so let's do done. Okay. Then we are going to move this one over approximately 40 millimeters, so click there, move this approximately 40. All right, then we're gonna click check there. I hit the check because we finished all of the steps. If you click the down arrow, you can see all the different steps. Let's see here, so this one was the step 7. Okay, I'm gonna edit this exploded step. I just want it to go up a little higher so it's not covering those pins there. Okay, now I'm gonna do done and check. All right, great. So now we created this exploded view and we are actually going to animate our explode. So again, if you want to collapse it, you can just double click on the exploded view, okay? All right, and then we are going to, let's see here, you can go to your feature manager tree. This is another way. You can right click here and click collapse, and it'll collapse, you know, your assembly. And then you can right click and go to, let's see, animate explode, and it'll actually animate it for you. Okay. And then we are going to actually next create an animation using the motion study. So let's right click and do, okay, I think my animation controller is off my screen. That's why I couldn't see it. All right, and then we are going to close out of this. You can actually save it as well. I'm gonna close out of that, close out of my animation controller, okay? And then I'm going to create a motion study. So you're going to go down here and click Motion Study 1. We're going to go to the animation wizard. We're going to do explode. Next, the duration, we can leave it at 9 seconds there, that's fine. Finish. Now if we push play, all right. It does all of those steps for us that we created. And then you can also speed it up. So I'm going to put on 2 times so it's faster. And then I'm going to have mine play back normal because I just want it to play once. Then I'm going to click Animation Wizard again. I'm going to do Collapse. I want this to actually start at 9 seconds so that it starts after the exploded view. So make sure this is 9, then finish. Okay. And then I'm going to hit play. And it's collapsing because the play bar was starting in the middle. So let's do the whole thing. So play, it will explode and then collapse. All right, and you can actually save this as a MP4 file. So you can save it in all these different types of formats, but MP4 is a traditional one that a lot of people save it in. So I'm going to exit out of that though because I'm not actually going to save it right now. All right, and so that is all for the exploded view. I'm going to push that down and go back to my mop. So what you can do now is just save all. All right. So moving on to exercise 2. Now we're going to actually create a drawing like this, and this is a technical drawing that you would usually share, with other people. You commonly see as exploded views in users manuals so that people can see all of the parts exploded and then they can see how it's assembled together. A lot of times they'll have lines indicating, where to put things, and we're going to learn how to do that later. But it's very common that you'll see an exploded assembly view or just an assembly. And usually assembly views are not dimensioned. So we're going to follow these steps again. So we are going to click this down arrow right here, and then you can click new, or you can do make drawing from part, because I already have it open. I can just click make drawing from part or assembly. Okay, and then we want to select the ANSI landscape, and then we want to make sure this display sheet format is selected, and click OK. And then we are actually going to edit our sheet properties. So there's different ways to do this. Well, let's just right click on our sheet and then go to properties. This will pull this up. We want the scale to be 1:1. We want it to be third angle for type of projection. We'll talk about that on the next slide. We want, let's see, the standard size we want to be the C landscape, display sheet format. All right, and then we're gonna do, my screen is not set properly. Okay, we're gonna do apply changes. All right, and then let me move this over. So first in background, we just saw third angle and first angle projection. And these are just the different ways that your orthographic views are projected. Okay, so we have our standard 3 views, and they can either be third angle or first angle. In the United States, we typically use third angle projection, so this top one, which just means that you have this front view right here, the bottom left corner, and the top and right views are projected. The top view is projected up and the right view is projected to the right. first angle projection, which is commonly used in Europe and Asia, you actually have your front view in the upper left corner, and the top view is actually here, and then your side is here. So that's just the difference between first angle and third angle, just so you have some context or background there when you're selecting those. Okay. And then the next thing we are going to do is we are going to edit our sheet format. So there are 2 layers. I'm actually going to pull up the PowerPoint again. There are 2 layers in every drawing, the sheet layer and the sheet format layer. The sheet layer is used to create your drawing views and annotations. So when we add the isometric view of our links assembly, it's going to be in the sheet layer. The sheet format layer is going to contain the title block, revision changes, bill of materials, and all of that type of information. So when we're adding a bill of materials or editing our title block, we actually want to edit the sheet format layer. By default, the sheet layer is active. So in order to edit the title block, we actually have to edit the sheet format layer. And to do that, we are going to right click, okay, and then, let's see here, we are going to go down, let me see here, edit sheet format, click that, okay. And that brings us into this layer. And then we are going to zoom in to this lower right hand corner. If you hover over this area, you'll see an anchor there, or a little point. I'm just going to select it, and then I'm going to right click, make sure, okay, it's just anchor. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to set as anchor, and I'm going to say bill of materials. And that just means once we add our bill of materials in the next step, it's going to attach to this anchor point once we create our bill of materials. Before we do that though, we are going to change this information or add information. So just click in this area and then double click there. And this is going to be SolidWorks. Okay. You can also edit the size and everything with this formatting editor. I'm going to go double click there, and the title, I want it to be links assembly. And then let's see, we'll leave C automatic. We'll leave scale automatic. The scale will change depending on the scale of our views. And then I want the drawing number to be 001 1 2 3 4 5. It's just a made up number. And revision is going to be 01, because it's our first one. Okay. And then the sheet, these are overlapping, but once it's printed, these are variable. So the ones in blue, those are variable. The weight will actually change based on the weight of your parts. And then this sheet, if you have multiple sheets that you print, it will actually show 1 of 2, 1 of 3, and so forth. Okay. And then we are going to switch back to our sheet layer. So we are going to right click, and we're going to go to edit sheet because we're done editing the title block down there, or adding notes to the title block. Okay, and then we're going to change the drawing's paper color. So we're going to let's see here, we're going to go to tools, options, we're going to go to colors, okay, and then for, let's see here, under system options, we are going to hit edit and make that white. So what we just changed was the viewport background to white. You can change the paper color. If you do edit, drawing paper color, and change it to white, that will change the paper color, and you can actually go through all of these and change, the color of everything. So dimensions, and things like that. Okay, and then we are going to click OK, and now we have this white background that we just changed. Now we're gonna add our assembly to the drawing. So go to View Layout tab. We're gonna go to Model View. There's different ways that we can actually create these drawing views. However, in this lesson, we're gonna use this model view. So click that. I already have my links assembly open, which is why it's active right here. If yours is not open, just go to Browse and find it in your computer and open it. But I'm gonna use this one, so I just double clicked there, double clicked on the links assembly. All right, and then we want to, let's see here, our configuration default for our orientation, I want it to be isometric. Let's see, and then I believe that is all right now. Okay. And then we'll just click it, or click where we want it to go. So I'm gonna click right here, and there it is. You can actually create an exploded drawing view from an existing exploded assembly view. The actual view is a model view, usually an isometric orientation. So we're gonna click this, okay? And then you can actually click right here which one that you want to use. Okay. Right. I'm just going to use that one. Okay. And then we are going to click OK. Oh, sorry, just change that back. Okay, click OK. And then you can change the line style too. So all you have to do is right click, select the right click on the border, go scroll down to tangent edge, and then you can actually just play with it. We're gonna do tangent edges with font. To actually change the phantom line style there. You can see it looks different. And then you can actually use the view palette over here to quickly add different drawing views to your drawing sheet just by dragging and dropping. Okay, so if you look at this, here are all of these different views that you can add. Okay, these are just the standard, or the 8 standard orientations: front, right, top, back, left, bottom, current, and isometric. Okay, unless you created a custom view. So we're going to insert the isometric. So just all you have to do is drag and drop. So I'm just going to drop it right there. And then we quickly added that view there. Sometimes for clarity, it's nice to change our view to shaded instead of wireframe, or even these hidden lines removed, or things like that. When you actually print something, it will print like it is on here. So let's change these. So I'm just going to click on the view, and you can actually scroll down, and you can click there, and then so you can pick which whenever you like. I'm going to do shaded with edges. And now the isometric view is shaded. We're going to click here and change this one as well to shaded with edges. And then the last thing we are going to do is we are going to add a bill of materials to our drawing. If you want to, just so you know, if you want to move the viewport around, you can just click on it and move it around in your sheet. All right, so now to the bill of materials, we are going to click the isometric view, click one of them, and then go to annotate, and then we're going to go to bill of materials. Where is my tables, I'm sorry, tables. Now, these are all the different tables that it will automatically generate for you. And we're gonna go to bill of materials. we want to attach to an anchor point. Remember in a few steps before we added an anchor point. And then we want to use the BOM standard template. We want parts only. We want to display as one number, and then we want to make sure display configurations of the same part as separate items is displayed. You can go through all of these and try it out yourself. Okay. And then we are going to click check. And then I just clicked it there. Okay. So that's how you do that. Okay. And then I didn't attach it to the anchor point on accident, but if you did, you can actually change the position of the anchor point by just clicking on the table. Okay. All right. The next thing we are going to do, let's talk about this really quickly. So you can see that the bill of materials is automatically created based on information from our assembly file. These are the 4 standard columns for bill of materials, okay, which are item number, part number, description, and quantity. But you can actually use Excel to customize different templates. So if you're working for a company and you have standard bill of materials, then you can actually create them using Excel. Okay, and then we're gonna actually modify the content. So we're gonna go to description here. Okay, the cell value is linked to a property and external model. Do you want to keep the link? We're going to break the link here. Okay. And then this is going to be double link. Ooh. Okay, and you can actually, what's it called? Break link. Okay, and I'm going to Control C, Control double click, break link, Control V. Okay, I want this in all caps there. And then we're going to do Control X, Control V, break link. Again, we want to center that, and I want it to be in all caps. I'm going to do Control X on my keyboard and Control V, break link, and then I'm going to center it and make it all caps. Okay, for the part number, I'm going to make this 001, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to change this to, this one's going to be 2, this one's going to be 3, and this one's going to be 4. Okay. This one's looking a little funky, so I'm just gonna redo that. Okay. Okay, you can kind of go in here and modify to make everything look the same. All right, awesome. So now we've added this information. You can reverse the column headers. Okay, so let me see here. If you need to preview the parts, you can actually expand these arrows right here, and then you can actually preview what each of these parts is. You can add the quantity there. I'm going to minimize that again. Let's see here. Okay. You can, if you click this, it will move the headers down there. And then you can actually just grab the column. So I clicked on B, and if I want the description to be first, I can actually just grab it and move it there. But I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. And the assembly order right here is the assembly order from which it was created. So if you want to reorder that, then see, okay, go. And then the last thing we are going to do is we are going to add balloons showing these different part numbers right here, or we call them item numbers. So to do that, just go to annotation. We're gonna go to balloon. We're just gonna click the edge of this part here and then move it out at like a 45-degree angle, and you can see it automatically adds the item number there to match the bill of materials. Now I'm gonna do this one. Click on edge there, move it out, similar to the 45-degree angle. Okay, we'll do 2 more. That one for, I'm gonna do a stop, or I hit escape. This balloon here, I'm going to, I'm gonna delete that one actually, and then go back to balloon and add that again. All right, and I'm gonna hit check. And there we go. Now you can save your drawing file. So if I go to save, you can see it saves it as an SLD DRW, that's the drawing file. So save that, and then also you can, let's just save it. And then also if you go to save as, and do the save file type, you can actually save it as a PDF here too. So make sure you can save it as a PDF as well. And then that is all for this chapter.